I mean, we are rolling here at Big 12 Media Days, Frisco, Texas. So is Cincinnati. Year 3, Scott Satterfield. One of the great offensive minds in college football. What do they have in store? The quarterback, Brendan Sorsby, is back. Can they get some things rolling? 5-2 to start the season a year ago. Plenty of talent still hanging around Cincinnati as they embark on the upcoming season. Coming out of the gate, by the way, August 28th, 9 p.m. Eastern against Nebraska. They are playing that at Arrowhead Stadium, by the way, also on ESPN. And also Coach Satterfield joining us now. Coach, year 3, thank you for joining us. Another Media Days for you. Big picture, off season to now, how have things been?
Yeah, it's been great. You know, we had a great offseason. We were able to keep a lot of our great players. That was huge for us. Had good spring practices, and now head into the summer. We've had a great summer. We just moved into our new facility, $135 million facility 2 weeks ago, and our guys are loving it. They're actually living in it. They're there every day, and they won't leave. So it's been huge, the connection we've had with the team, so we're excited about it.
When you look at a program in this day and age of college football, maybe one of the biggest things not talked about as much as it should be is recruiting within your own locker room. And when those guys stay, that means that you've built something that they want to be a part of. What does that speak to what you've built in the first 2 years that guys want to stay and see this thing through? Yeah,
I mean, it's huge. I think that speaks to the culture of what we have and being at Cincinnati, and our city is a great city. It's a great place to live. But Dante Corleone, who's an All-American 2 years ago, I mean, he stayed. Joe Royer could have went to the NFL. He stayed. Brandon Sorsby. In this day and age, these guys are getting calls, and they're fielding these calls. And in order to keep those guys, I thought it was critical for our team to show that we've got something going here that's pretty strong. And I'm excited about this year because those guys can come in and show what they really have.
It's kind of amazing last year. It felt like one of those strange years where everything was looking good, and then for whatever reason there'd be a play late or a play here or there that just kind of flipped the script. You have all these close calls. What has been the message to the team in making sure that they don't make the critical mistake or give up the big play in a critical moment in the game so that some of those close losses can turn into close wins this upcoming season?
It's huge. This league, I mean, everybody lost 2 games last year in this league, so we know how tight it is. The margins are so small. Our whole thing this offseason was discipline, doing the little things right, and because that's what it comes down to. And you mentioned it's a play here or a play there. I felt like we didn't get any of those plays. I think they went to the other team, unfortunately. And so we were in every game. And you go into the fourth quarter, we just didn't finish them out. But I do think, discipline and doing the right things all the time is what it's all about. Bringing back those players. We had some great additions that we brought in. But we made this offseason incredibly difficult, including the last 6 weeks. The hardest these guys have ever worked. We want to put the pressure on them, and they're asking for more. And that's what you want out of a football team. And so, again, can't wait to get these guys in camp and start practicing with a great bunch of guys that are hungry to go show that we have what it takes to be one of the best teams in the Big 12.
Coach, a good offense, that's going to fill the stadium, right? It's going to put the fans in the stands. You're going to light up the scoreboard. But we all know defense wins championships. What can we expect with Tyson Veit, year 2, being the defensive coordinator? His scheme has now been installed. What can we expect from your defense?
Yeah, I mean, last year was his first year here. We were very vanilla and simple defensively. We didn't really do a lot of things. I think now with him being the second year, a lot of guys back, we're able to expand a little bit more on the defense. You're going to be able to bring a little bit more pressure. You're going to be able to show some different looks to the quarterbacks. And in this league, it's full of great quarterbacks, maybe the best in the whole of the country, we're going to have to show them some different looks. And it's the first time in 5 years we've had the same defensive coordinator at Cincinnati. So I think that's huge for us. We were 6 points better per game scoring last year defensively, and we want to see, again, some improvement with that this year. We got a great linebacking core. We got a really good D-line. The question will be, how good is the secondary? And I think we added some great guys in the secondary, so we'll see how well they play this year.
When you look back to the offensive side of the ball in Brendan, and you mentioned the quarterbacks in this conference, I think 9 returning starters. I think you can go top to bottom, maybe the best quarterback conference in the country. So for Brendan to take that next step and do within your system what needs to be done to execute correctly on the field, what does he need to do to take that next step?
Yeah, I mean, he's had a great offseason. I think, Brendan, I think he had the best passing game of anybody in the Big 12 last year when we played Texas Tech, threw for 440. He's got it in him. We've helped him out this offseason by bringing in some really good wide receivers. I think that's going to help. Joe Royer's back, who's a first-team All-Big 12 tight end, one of the best tight ends in the country. That's going to help. We added a couple good O-linemen up front that'll give him some time. But for him, it's about playing within himself, not trying to do too much. I think sometimes quarterbacks try to do a little bit too much. They get in trouble when that happens. But it's just distributing the football to these playmakers and allowing him to go make plays. He's got great legs, too. I think he led the Big 12 in rushing touchdowns for quarterbacks, so he can do both. I think he's a super talented player. I think he can be one of the best quarterbacks in this league, in a league full of great quarterbacks.
Yeah. The running back committee, we all know how good Corey was and how talented he was, how efficient he was, and the numbers he was able to put up. I love your offense. If I was a running back, I'd be fired up to play for you. Granted, never had that.
You couldn't let know.
I know I'm going to get some looks. I know I'm going to get some stretch zone. I'm going to get guys going horizontal one cut, and I'm out the gate. So with what Brennan's going to like to do in his next step, how do you make sure with a relatively new-looking backfield alongside him, how do you make sure those guys are all meshing together with some of the stuff you're asking for off the RPO and stretch zone stuff?
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, our running backs, we've had a 1,000-yard rusher for 13 years, I think, straight. I think, Tyree Walker's a guy we transferred from Wisconsin, was close to a 1,000-yard rusher there. He is Corey-like. He's big. He's 215. He can run. He can break tackles. Evan Pryor's coming back. I think Evan Pryor could be kind of a sleeper running back in this league. I mean, he had a bunch of runs over 50 yards for touchdowns last year. He's got the juice. He can go. There's going to be a great 1-2 punch there with those two guys. If we can open it up a little bit in the passing game and stretch the field a little bit more down the field, it's certainly going to open up more of that running game. We do want to be able to run the football. Last year in the second half of the season, man, they were stacking the boxes. 9 and 10 guys. We got to do a better job of taking the top off, and I think with the new receiving core, we're going to be able to do that and push the ball down the field, which will help get some more big plays and touchdowns, I think, down the field.
Coach, when you talk about all these offensive weapons, these guys can't do their job without a great offensive line. And you have a center in Gavin Gearhart with 36 career starts. Talk to me about his leadership, and you mentioned the new pieces coming to that offensive line. How is that unit gelling as they finished up spring ball and head into fall camp?
Yeah, Gavin, I can't say enough about Gavin Gearhart. He will be a 3-time captain. He's a guy that signed with Cincinnati when he come out of high school. He stuck it out the whole time. Could have went on and just finished his career, but wanted to come back and be a leader again. He's had a tremendous offseason as one of our best leaders on our team. He wins at everything that he does in competition. He anchors the guys up front. He makes all the calls up front, all the protection calls. He's the quarterback up front, and what a great leader. Glad he's there. We added a couple players. Joe Cotton came in from South Dakota. Tyron Tayo came in from Ball State, both starters. That'll help anchor the boys up front, along with some starters. Buford's coming back as a starter, be a 3-time starter for us as well. I feel good about our O-line. I'm excited about it. This offense, we got a lot of the pieces in place. It's a matter of going out and executing and making the plays.
And by the way, when it's rocking Nippert Stadium, one of the best stadiums in the country. When that thing's going, it's going. You've got it going out there in Cincinnati. Year 3, Scott Satterfield. They open up against Nebraska. That's a tough one. I could go on a whole soapbox about how Nebraska's really a Big 12 team, not a Big 10 team. Neither here nor there. Coach, thank you so much. Good luck this season. Best luck the rest of the way. Stay healthy.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Coach Satterfield with us as we continue our rip through Big 12 head coaches.